My name is Rajette Harris, Chairwoman of the Dauphin County Democratic Committee. Welcome to our new series, Getting to Know Your Candidates, to help you get to know the candidates running for the upcoming election, as well as on a personal level. Our next candidate with us is Scott Campbell, running for Susquehanna Township School Board. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Great. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I've been living in the district with my wife and 3 kids for the last, I would say probably about 20 years. All 3 kids are students at Susquehanna Township. I have 1 daughter in high school, 1 in middle school, 1 at Thomas Holtzman. I also coach, because I have my soccer shirt on in between games right now. So I've coached for the township for about 10 years. And you said to tell you about myself.
Yes.
So I've been in education for the last 20 years. That's really what my life has been, is working with schools. I've been a classroom teacher. I actually started out as a classroom teacher in Harrisburg City. I've been an assistant high school principal, a high school principal, and for the last 5 years I've been an educational consultant. So I travel around, really around the country, working with struggling schools, trying to fix whatever their problems are.
Okay. Yeah. So is it that experience that has made you want to run for the school board?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like having somebody who sort of knows what goes on, it really makes a big difference, because I really understand the way a board operates. I understand the way a district operates. I understand budgeting. You know, I've been through the whole process of budgeting. I've been through the whole process of how to develop school programs, curriculum. I understand school law really well based upon, my work. So I think that really is something that I can help lend to the whole process.
So then, if elected, what will your priorities be?
Well, I think number one, because I'm a parent, because I'm an educator, and because I'm a community member, I think any school board member who comes in, part of their priority is balancing the needs of the kids with also the whole idea of taxes and being able to keep things at a livable rate for everyone. So I think that becomes a priority no matter what, trying to, find a happy balance. I think a second one is just looking at how we can continue to improve. I do believe there's some areas that we can tweak the way we do things that I think will be proactive and help avoid other problems coming up in the future. So I think taking a look at policies, and I know they do that now, but digging in, and again, just understanding what other school districts are doing, I think that would be another priority for me. And then I really think another thing that we really need to focus on as a district is, I think we really need to try to hire the best people, keep those people. One of the things that's frustrating for me as a parent is seeing teachers that my kids love turn around and leave the district. And I really want to be able, I think there's some things we can do to help retain those good teachers and put the best people in place.
Okay. What's your position on standardized tests? Do you feel they're a good measurement for students?
Well, I think that they have their place, as in, because they do give you a guide of how your kids are doing and how the school is doing. The problem is that kids get completely over-tested. And what happens is, because of the accountability piece from the state and from the federal government, it becomes a point where the school district, that's their entire focus. They may not say that it is, but it becomes that because people's evaluations, their raises, are based upon how kids perform on the tests. Because of that, it makes everything built around the test in the schools, and way too much emphasis on it. If there was a way to take the emphasis off of it and just have them, boom, here's the test, we take it, to be able to measure how the school's doing, how the kids are doing, that would be great and be effective. But everything that's done in the schools right now is around the PSSA. So I think it has its place, but I definitely think it needs tweaked, and it needs tweaked at the state level with the way that we do it, because right now that accountability puts way too much pressure on the kids and on the schools.
What do you see as the major issues facing public education?
Definitely funding right now. I mean, I think from when Governor Corbett came in, I know that at the time I was principal at Upper Dauphin, and when he came in as governor, after he cut the budget and the educational funding, I ended up having to lay off about a quarter of my entire staff at Upper Dauphin. I mean, you see that whole budgeting thing, what happened back in, I forget, I think I want to say it was like 2012. I mean, it really, really took an axe to the budget. It cut programs, it cut arts, it increased class sizes, and that just wasn't here. That was across the state that was felt as schools started to lose programs and class sizes started to increase. So I really think budgeting is a huge deal. And then I also think that the thing right behind it is this connection with standardized testing, because I think we have to have reform there, because what happens with the standardized testing is, as I go to schools and I work with different schools, I see turnover constantly, because what happens is that there's so much pressure put on, and people, I mean, Harrisburg is a great example because it's right in our backyard. There's so much pressure on them, and the superintendent there has so much pressure to have to move people around because they don't score here and score there, that it makes it hard to maintain and keep the same staff members, and that's part of what keeps everybody moving along to different districts. So I really think that whole process of evaluation, I know they're looking at it now, I think that's what needs to change along with budgeting as far as priorities.
I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's a bill, Senate Bill 383, that's moving through the state Senate right now.
Mm-hmm.
It would give school districts the option to allow principals and other school personnel to carry guns on the school campuses. Do you agree or disagree with that, and why?
Well, I definitely, I mean, I disagree with it because, I mean, even, I guess my thought process is who judges. That's the tough part. Who judges who's able to be able to carry a gun? I guess my feeling is that the majority of the 500 school districts would say no if they were given that option, because the difficult part is you might have someone, I could see someone saying this person would be perfect to be able to have as almost like an extra security person, but to allow one person, you then have to allow this person to, who maybe you don't necessarily trust. I think there's it opens the door too much for something possibly bad to happen.
Okay.
So.
And why should voters vote for you?
I think having kids in the school district and just my knowledge of education, of the system. I mean, I spend every day trying to work to make education better. I mean, I've been traveling every week. This week's my last week, going to Dallas, working with they're really one of their highest priority, highest poverty level schools, and helping to improve what goes on down there. So I mean, that's kind of what I do, and I know what needs to take place for schools to get from here to there. So.
And my last question, is there anything else you would like the voters to know about you?
Just the fact that because I have, I'm committed. I have kids in the district. We built a house last year. We made the commitment to stay in Susquehanna Township, and I'm going to die in that house because I'm never moving. And when we made that decision, that's when I said I want to be involved and be able to make a difference for my own kids and for our kids here in the community.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.